I am not a thief. Vijay Mallya's big revelation. How Pranab's silence sunk Kingfisher. Once hailed as India's most flamboyant, wealthiest, and glamorous businessman. He owned private jets, an F1 racing team, an IPL franchise, RCB, and his airline, Kingfisher, was once the epitome of luxury in Indian skies. But today, that very man lives in exile on the streets of London, carrying the label of a fugitive and claiming, "I apologize for Kingfisher's failure, but I am not a thief." Yes, we are talking about Vijay Mallya, whose latest revelation raises serious questions about India's banking system, political decisions, and media trials. Today, we will dive deep into this matter. But before we begin, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our latest videos. Now let's begin today's discussion without any delay. Fugitive businessman Vijay Mallya, currently residing in London, has for the first time openly admitted that Kingfisher Airlines could have been saved if only the Indian government had extended support at the right time. He directly named Pranab Mukherjee, claiming that when Mukherjee was the finance minister, he refused to help. Mallya asserts that he personally met with Pranab, explained the financial crisis, and said that Kingfisher would need to cut down flights and lay off employees. But the government's response, according to him, was, "Continue operations, the banks will support you." What followed? Neither did the banks help, nor did the government show a path, and eventually, the entire airline collapsed. In his statement, Mallya also said the media branded him as the king of good times, but the real work was done by him, building businesses, turning the UB Group into a global brand, and connecting India to the world in sectors like liquor, paint, pharmaceuticals, racing, and aviation. In 1988, when the word globalization was barely heard in India, Mallya had already acquired Burger Paints. In 2005, he launched India's first premium airline, which redefined the Indian aviation landscape. But as the saying goes, the brighter the glamour, the longer its shadow. The 2008 global recession broke Kingfisher's backbone. Mallya says, "Have you heard of Lehman Brothers?" When it collapsed, the global economy shook. India was impacted too. Cash flow stopped. Every sector was affected, including our airline. He added that had the system supported him at the time, the airline could have been saved. But instead, he was asked to remain silent. There was neither dialogue nor a solution. Vijay Mallya claims he personally guaranteed every loan. Yet, he faces allegations of fraud and money laundering amounting to over 9,000 crore. He says that while banks loaned him 6,203 crore, the government has already recovered 14,100 crore. So, the question arises, if he was a thief, how was the money recovered? On the podcast, he clearly stated, "If I had stolen money, how would it have been recovered? I made 4 settlement offers, but banks rejected them fearing the CBI." He also clarified the allegations regarding the F1 team and RCB. Mallya claims that neither of these ventures used Kingfisher Airlines funds. On the contrary, the F1 team actually transferred funds to Kingfisher. He called the accusations about personal spending baseless, saying every step he took was part of a larger business expansion and brand-building strategy, not a scam. In the podcast, Mallya also stated that if the Indian government guarantees a fair trial, he is willing to return to India. However, he says he has no faith in the current system. He alleged that every institution in India is under the shadow of corruption and that the media trial has already declared him guilty. He clarified that he hasn't returned to India since March 2016, not because he fled, but because it was a pre-scheduled trip. When he saw that he was being judged without a hearing, he chose not to come back. According to him, if the government and banking system had listened to his side back then, and political interference had been avoided, Kingfisher Airlines could have continued to operate, and thousands of employees could have retained their jobs. Mallya stated clearly, "It was the system that killed Kingfisher, not me." His statement isn't just a businessman's defense, it's a critique of a system that refuses to listen. Questioning Pranab Mukherjee's role, Mallya said that when he approached him for help, there was neither a response nor any action taken. He added that had the government shown a bit of flexibility at the time, the airline might have been revived. He also pointed out that while he was advised to keep operations running, how could that happen when banks were not offering any support? Today, while Mallya resides in London and the Indian government continues its legal battle to bring him back, his statement may spark a new debate. Should Mallya's side of the story also be heard? Is he truly just a victim of the system? Or is this a clever defense from a businessman trying to save himself? On one hand, he's labeled a fugitive and a thief, but on the other, his words reflect a certain pain, a businessman who tried to do something different for the country, only to be crushed by the weight of the system. Now, the question is no longer whether Mallya took a loan. It is, when he was trying to repay it, did the banks shut the doors out of political fear? Another question is whether a seasoned leader like Pranab Mukherjee, by remaining silent, indirectly caused a major financial disaster? And the biggest question, is Vijay Mallya truly a thief, or has he simply become the face of a glamorous system failure? Today, as you listen to this story, the decision is yours. Vijay Mallya says, "I didn't flee, but when there was no guarantee of justice, I chose not to return." He added, "If I get a fair trial, I'm still willing to return to India."
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources: news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.